Previously, Noor gained more experience as an adventurer and got to make his relationship with Emma stronger. This had caused the other girls in his harem to realize that they are nothing but melons for him to feed on. After that happens, the next day at school, Elna tells the students about their special lesson and informs them they will be going on a vacation where there will be hot springs. On their way to the hot spring, Noor notices that Emma is excited about it and tells her not to get into the water as the boys in their class have plans to peep at the bodies of the girls. Hearing this, Emma tells him she is okay being seen by the boy, which gets Noor agitated, but she tells him it was only a joke. Then, Emma tells the girls that Noor will protect them from the other boys, which he is not so sure about. There, Elna comes to tell them there are a lot of monsters in Amora, therefore they'd have to get their lines and formations ready, and she begins to walk ahead. Hearing her, the students begin to wonder what she is talking about as they also continue on their way to the spring. While Noor sees that his troubles will not just end there. Suddenly, a classmate of his immediately tells him to stop, as there is a trap close by. Then he uses a stone to reveal that there is a pit trap nearby, which Noor thanks him for and begins to wonder who might have put the trap there for them. Suddenly, they see a pixie and Elna tells them the hole is dug by bandits, telling them she has a shortcut. Meanwhile, Noor sees that Elna has chosen not to say anything as she sees that the pixie has a monster puppetry skill, and also, it seems the task is up to the students. They arrive at a dark cave which the students begin to wonder why it is. Suddenly, Noor draws out his sword, making the pixie wonder why he has drawn his sword and begs him to put it back. Noor also notices the holes in the wall and tells the pixie that she has a puppetry skill, and she wishes to deceive them so they can be captured. The pixie immediately realizes that her cover is blown and tells the lizard men to capture the students. The students immediately attack them at once and begin to take down the lizard men, as Noor becomes surprised at how they are able to take out the monsters. The pixie tries to escape, but Noor traps her and she falls to the ground. Seeing their victory, Elna begins to talk to them, but at that moment, one of the boys immediately sights the spring from afar, and they begin to celebrate. Getting there, the attendant tells them it is split between boys and girls, and the girls begin to feel that they will be looked at by the boys, but the boys assure them they would not. But as soon as they get to their dorm, the boys begin to prepare to peep at the girls naked, as they begin to wear a mask that they have prepared so as not to be labeled as bad students. Then they hand Noor one of the masks also, but he remembers what the girls told him before and tells them he will not be a part of their scheme and begins to run away from them. They pursue him as he runs out of the building towards the bath. While he runs, he begins to think of a way to stop them, but he sees Elna, who forms a wall to stop the boys. Elna thinks Noor is part of the boys planning to go over to see the girls, but he tells her he also wants to stop them. Suddenly, the other boys wake up and begin to charge towards the bath, but Noor and Elna immediately use their power to stop them. Jorth, one of the boys, then stands up and plans to fight Noor and Elna so as not to stand in their way. The boy begins with giving Elna a blow that makes her fall back, but she is caught by Noor on her huge cannons. Elna then tells him she will forgive him and asks him to remove his hands from her cannons. He immediately apologizes for his mistake, and then they realize Jorth has taken up more power to make himself very strong just to see his classmates naked. He tries to convince Noor to join him, but he refuses and tells him that he cannot see his classmates return to creation because of his selfish desires. They begin to fight and Noor uses one of his skills to weaken him and throws him on the floor. Another of his classmates also wakes up and begins to run towards the bath to see the girls, but Noor tries to stop him and chases him to the bath, and he ends up using a lot of life points, which weakens him. He ends up in the bath and sees that the girls have not started bathing as they have been warned by their teacher, and they all see that he kept their promise. Weakened from using up lots of his life points trying to stop his classmates, Noor passes out, and the girls go after him to save him. Later, when he wakes up, he notices he is in the bathroom with the girls, which they say is as a reward for keeping his promise, which surprises him as the girls begin to thank him. Emma, seeing that Noor has lost a lot of life points, begins to rub her cannons on his face and asks him how it feels. Elna also joins in while the other students begin to watch. Then, Noor sees that his life points have surprisingly surpassed 10,000. Noor and his family are getting ready to open their shop and Lola is helping out with moving items since she is very strong. Meanwhile, Luda notices that Lola is doing it all so that she can get down with Noor and begins to pull her away. Suddenly, Emma comes in and notices a potion on the table, which Noor tells them is edible and they can have a taste. The girls have a taste and realize it is very delicious, while Noor remembers it is from the dungeon where he gets his artifacts from. Then his father comes in to tell him he is done handing out the flyers. At that moment, they see that it is almost time and begin to panic on opening the shop for the first time. They begin to count down and they immediately open the doors of the shop. Noor's father is amazed to see so many customers, which makes Noor tell his father that this happens because they promoted the store so well and sees that he has come a long way, giving thanks to his master. Later, Noor goes to see Olivia and tells her that he would like to thank her by freeing her from the chains and suffering she is going through, and begs her to allow him. Wanting to make his master smile again, he was out to summon the great sage, asking him how he can save his master without killing her, and the sage tells him that the answer he seeks is on the 15th floor. Immediately, Noor regains his consciousness. He gets a stronger headache, and he realizes that the tougher the question, the worse it gets for him. To get his answer, he goes to the 14th floor where he sees an instruction that tells him where to go if he is alone, which he sees will be a trial. He follows the instructions by following the number 1 path, which leads him to a tiny bridge that has spikes. He is instructed not to use any skill for his journey, which gets worried. However, he leaves the dungeon and goes back to talk to Emma about everything, asking her for help and takes her to the hidden dungeon. He tells her the password to the door, and Emma sees that the password looks like his life's motto. Since he is not alone, he goes down the number 2 path where he sees a door and thinks a monster will be inside. He opens the door, but it is empty. They enter and see that the door behind them is locked, as they see a lot of dwarves coming towards them, who ask them to drop their weapons and give them some food. Noor uses his powers to produce some cookies for them, which they find delicious. Their leader, while eating the cookies, immediately asks Emma to wink like a pig so that they can laugh. Noor begs her to do it, and she does, but they do not find it funny, which angers her. The leader then asks for more cookies, but Noor uses his abilities to bestow a poison on the cookies, and takes them out so that they can be on their way. They continue in the dungeon and go down some steps with a clue they can use to save their master. Then, Noor enters a room and sees his master. He goes close to her, uses his eyes to check her powers, and realizes that the girl in Olivia's form is the actual death chain that holds Olivia. Then he reads an instruction that says to free her without killing her and a path will appear. That moment, Emma frees her, while Noor tells her that she is the death chain and there is no need to pretend. Suddenly, they begin to fight, and as Noor sees that killing her would set his master free. He tries to use a stone bullet, but she kicks it away, which makes them realize she is strong. Then the death chain tries to use a fire dragon to kill Noor, but he dodges it, and notices that it is very persistent. The death chains attack Emma and Noor, as she suddenly tries to use her powers on them, but Noor uses his elevator skills to teleport them to where Olivia is. Seeing them, Olivia becomes angry when she sees Emma with Noor, and asks who Emma is. He immediately explains that Emma is his childhood friend whom he had told her about. Meanwhile, Emma is scared because the death chains is using Olivia's body, and Olivia immediately tells them that she already knows what is going on. Emma asks what her weaknesses are, so they would be able to know how to attack the death chains. But Olivia ignores her question and asks for the size of her rice cake bags. Seeing that Emma is confused, Olivia tells her that she wants to know, just because she notices that Emma's melons are bigger than hers. However, Olivia also tells Noor that he should stay away from the death chains because of its powers. But Noor asks her why she is being nice to him, as he has not been able to repay her for all she has done for him, but she keeps mute. Later, Noor and Emma leaves the dungeon, and on their way home, Emma tells Noor that she would talk to some of her parents' friends who are historians so that she can try to get whatever Olivia's weaknesses are. Noor tells her he would also go to find out about Olivia the following day. However, Noor thanks Emma before they part ways and heads to his shop that is not opened yet. Getting there, he opens the door and meets Luna and Lola arguing, but they both stop and Lola asks him why he looks exhausted. But before he could answer, she immediately thinks it is because he is lacking life points, which Noor tries to explain to the ladies that he is just tired, but instead, they begin to whisper things into each other's ears. Suddenly, Lola and Luna immediately grabs Noor. The following day, Noor visits the library and reads about a huge fight between Olivia and a cleric, which she won. He learns of a skill called sacrifice possessed by the cleric, which gave Olivia a hard time. Noor goes out and tries to practice the skill of using sacrifice, But he also learns that he has to give up some of his skills to use the skill. On his way home, Noor meets the death chains on the bridge, and when he asks why she is following him, she tells him that her job is to defeat any intruder on the 15th floor. The death chains also asks Noor why he wants to save Olivia, and he tells her that he wants his master to be free after being trapped for 200 years. The death chains informs Noor of how she makes Olivia go through pains, which gets Noor very angry and decides to defeat the death chains once and for all. Noor faces the death chains who is using Olivia's body, and he immediately sacrifices some of his skills so as to use the ultimate sacrifice power. He tries to attack the death chains, but she uses the sword with her to pierce through Noor's chest. Noor tries to be strong but suddenly begins to feel a surge of lightning in his body, and when he uses his eye skill, he is able to see how powerful the sword with the death chains is. The death chain moves closer to Noor, and when she is about to hit him, he immediately calls out to Olivia, his master, who begs him not to die on her. Then Olivia shows how she had rejected a boy 200 years back, and how the boy meets her in a bar where he tells her he would like to be her student. Then she begins to wonder the kind of gut the boy has for him to approach her in such manner. But the boy keeps begging to be her student, and she sends him away by telling him that she is not good at teaching. The boy begins to follow her anywhere she goes as he begs her to teach him so that he can get stronger. However, she keeps telling him she cannot be his master. The boy follows Olivia until she stops him and tells him to attack her right in the middle of the city, and if he is able to give her a scratch, she would be his master. But as the boy draws his sword, Olivia jumps up and stands on the blade of the sword. She dismisses the boy and tells him he is not ready to be an adventurer because he is not skilled. She also adds that he should give up being an adventurer, which makes the boy so disappointed. After being insulted, the boy does not still give up as he continues to follow Olivia until she begins to tell him about some creatures she knows about. Olivia becomes impressed on how dedicated the boy is, and whenever he calls her master, she would tell him not to. One night, Olivia sits in the bar waiting for the boy as usual, but the bar attendant tells her that they all heard the news that the boy is dead as he was defeated by an iron goblin. Olivia immediately rushes to where he is being laid, and a man she met there tells her that the boy saved his daughter from the iron goblin, as he was able to use his sword to pierce the eye of the goblin in order to make his daughter escape. Olivia becomes sad as she begins to blame herself for not teaching the boy properly, which makes her tell herself that she should have accepted when he begged to learn more and become stronger. Having told Noor this story, Olivia adds that the boy she turned down looked like him, and when they met for the first time, she gave him her powers so that she would not feel the guilt she felt a long time ago. But she also begs him that he should be strong and not died so that she would be able to see his smiling face again. Hearing all this, Noor tries to stand up, but as he stands up, the death chains tell him that he would die once she hits him with her sword. But as she tries to hit him, Emma uses her power to push the death chain away. Noor gets surprised on seeing Emma alongside Lola, Luna, and Layla, one of their companions. Then, Luna uses her healing guns to heal Noor, and the ladies decide to take on the death chain, trying to defeat her. Noor warns them of how powerful the death chain is, but Emma reminds him of how he has helped them, and they have all decided to help him. The ladies begin to attack the death chain, who make fun of them. However, as Emma clashes her sword against the death chain, Emma becomes weak as she also feels the surge of lightning in her body. Noor tries to help the girls but realizes he is yet to recover. Then, the moment the death chain tries to hurt Emma, Lola saves her by throwing huge barrels at her. Seeing this, Noor cautions her as he notices that the bridge might collapse if Lola continues. Noor also instructs Luna to heal Emma and Lola, while he thinks of how they can defeat the death chain. Immediately, Noor uses his editor skills to destroy the sword, while he tells Layla to use her demon fist to hit the sword. Finally, the sword breaks and Layla tries to hit the death chain, who immediately jumps up and uses a skill to hit Layla. Seeing this, Noor stands up to check Layla, but suddenly, Luna also falls down, and Noor realizes that the death chain is the one doing something to the girls. Angry, Noor decides to fight with the death chains, but then realizes that she is messing with his skills, as all of the attacks he is making towards her are returning back to him. Looking at his friends' faces, Noor gets determined that he would make sure he defeats the death chain monster because of his friend and also to free his master. To do this, Noor sacrifices all of his other skills except the ones Olivia gave him. Then he uses his sword to hit the body of the death chains, but he is unable to pierce through it. After much thinking, Noor uses a huge effect, and while tapping from the death chain's power, He uses his sword to hit the body, and immediately the death chains turn to dust. Having exhausted his powers, Noor gets tired, and when the ladies go to meet him, he tells them he is fine, but he only has 200 life points left. The ladies immediately go to meet him, and they all offer him their rice cake, in order to increase his life points.
Did you pray today?
Which help eventually increased up to 10,000. Noor returns to the dungeon to check Olivia and realizes that she is free from the chains, but he runs out to check her, and when he sees her, he becomes emotional and immediately hugs her. Noor asks Olivia why she did not tell him that she was in pain, to which she tells him that she did not want him to be worried. Olivia begins to play with Noor's face and tells him how long she has been longing to touch his face, and they both thank each other. Later at Noor's shop, Alice asks him where he got the fruits from, and to which he tells her he got it from his friend. Noor also takes lessons from Layla, who teaches him how to fight, but while she teaches him, he feels her melons resting on his back, which also excites him. Lola sees this and immediately tells Noor that she is not aware that he needs to gain more life points and quickly goes to place her own melons on his body. Luna comes and also does the same thing. But Emma comes and tells Noor that he should always tell her first if he needs life points. Emma suddenly kisses Noor, and suddenly they hear Alice yell at them for fighting for her post with Noor. If you have watched this recap till now, you'll definitely enjoy the story of Kiaru, who is an incredible yet disgusting loner, with the power to heal any being. Hell-bent on revenge against some enemies from his past life, who made his life unbearable, he is ready to do anything to make them pay. Want to know more? Check out our last recap and find out.